Hello everyone, this is another WTF News on Shizzy Lit podcast.
JuicyJ speaks on how drugs really broke Sixmafia up by Brenton Blanchett. November 30th, 2021. Photo by Bennett Raglan. Getty Images for Bet. JuicyJ is opening up on the fall of Sixmafia. The rapper spoke with Nas and radio personality Minya Misinfo during the latest episode of Spotify's The Bridge 50 Years of Hip Hop podcast, explaining that drugs really broke Sixmafia up. After Nas asked which drugs did it, Juicy explained that it was the wildest drugs, from heroin to meth to cocaine, all kinds of pills. Juicy said, "A lot of drugs were consumed during the times we were together. When everybody was sober and shit, everybody's on the same page. But when cocaine's involved, things change. But I'm not pointing a finger at nobody. His statements make sense, as group member Crunchy Black said in the past during a Vlad TV discussion that Juicy would fine other members of the group if they allowed drugs to get in the way of their work. Of course, that isn't the only story circulating around the end of the group, with DJ Paul previously sharing that Juicy left the group in 2020. He claimed the group's demise was down to the label not being together. He elaborated that he can't think of nothing else that would have ended the group, adding that it explained why people wasn't showing up in the studio. Business was crazy, everything's folding, it was the drugs, I had to bust up in Lord Infamous room before and I was almost in tears," he said of the late group member. "I thought the N.A. was dead at first. So I had to go get the keys, because he wouldn't answer the phone. I was banging on his door. So I had to bust up in his room and had to pretty much beat him with a pillow to wake him up." The three covered plenty of other ground in the podcast, too, including his come up in Memphis and work to stay creative in his career. As for Nas, the legendary Mac is teaming up with Showtime for his directorial debut. You are watching Video Music Box, following VJ Ralph McDaniel and his impact on hip-hop. It premieres on December 3rd. Check out the podcast in its entirety below. The Sixmafia talk starts shortly before the 12-minute mark. Related Crunchy Black slams Soulja Boy over Young Dolph. Comments, FCK him Bone Thugs and Harmony will take on Sixmafia in next versus battle. Crunchy Black says JuicyJ used to find Sixmafia members for drug use, news, addiction, cocaine, drugs, heroin. JuicyJ meth. Nas Peel podcast. Sixmafia break.
Podcasting to the grave. Bunch of money on the street, gotta get paid.